Benson's.
From abandoned zoo to beautiful walking trails, I have found the coolest spot in southern New Hampshire. Hi travelers, today we are at Benson Park in Hudson, New Hampshire, formerly known as Benson's Wild Animal Farm. Benson Park is over 160 acres of recreational land and walking trails where you can find relics of times past, as well as wildlife in their natural habitat. Located right off Route 111, it's convenient to access if you're coming from any major city or highway in the area. But this 166-acre plot of land didn't always used to look like this. In the early 1900s, John T. Benson trained animals and traveled far and wide to bring them to various zoos and circuses. Before he could sell them to the zoos, he had to quarantine them on his land to ensure they did not bring any illnesses to their new homes. So, Benson purchased 200 acres of land in Hudson for this purpose. Benson had so many animals of different types that the location became known as the strangest farm on earth, garnering attention from many locals who would just stop by to look at the animals. After a few years, Benson started allowing public access to the farm to see these exotic animals for a small fee. The farm grew in popularity, expanding to include show elephants, a silverback gorilla, and even some small amusements. After Benson's passing in the early 40s, Benson's Wild Animal Farm was sold and slowly declined in patronage in the 60s. After another purchase in 1979, the park was given new life by Arthur Preventure with some new animals and attractions. He also later named it New England's Playworld Amusement Park and Zoo, with Mighty Mouse as its fitting mascot. However, this too did not last long, as the New Hampshire Department of Transportation purchased the land as a wetland mitigation project during the state's time of increased highway expansions. Thus, Benson's closed for good in 1987. For years, the attractions of Benson's remained on the premises, becoming worn and dilapidated. It wasn't until 2001 that a committee in Hudson was formed and started making plans for a new and revitalized version of Benson's. Between 2008 and 2011, great strides were made to renew some of the attractions, such as the Old Woman's Shoe, a 9/11 memorial, and the building that housed the silverback gorilla named Colossus. Well, his real name was Tony, but that's not a name that will entice thousands of visitors, now is it? And my mom told me that she was lucky enough to come here when she was a kid and she got to see the elephants. Although I couldn't find any Polaroids to prove it, so I guess we're just gonna have to take her word for it. Now, Benson's Park is a thriving, free-to-the-public recreational area with a large playground for children, public restrooms, several miles of walking trails, which include animal blinds for viewing the wildlife without disturbing them, as well as a dog park. And of course, there are several remnants of Benson's Wild Animal Farm, which in my opinion make this the coolest spot in all of southern New Hampshire. The old train station that was used to bring visitors from Boston, well, that's been moved to this land, making a great photo opportunity. The original ticket stand has been refurbished with photos and information regarding each era of Benson's, which is super cool. And the RC racetrack, and of course Colossus's gorilla cage, can still be visited. Although the racetrack is merely some pavement in a circle around some picnic tables, but there are some podiums with photos from its heyday. While the ticket booth did mention there were still some cement stanchions from the old Ferris wheel, I couldn't find them, but you can see here where the Ferris wheel used to be, as well as the paddle boats that you could ride across the lake. Around that same side of the lake, there was also a train you could take all around the park to see the different amusements and animals as well. And of course, no revitalized park is complete without a gift shop. Just across from the old train station and the ticket booth sits some large elephant cages with a red barn attached. Inside, you'll find a quaint gift shop with some toys, coloring posters, snacks, and of course t-shirts. We picked up this classic logo Benson's shirt for $20. We even got to talk to the woman running the shop today, who also happens to be on the board of the Friends of Benson Park. She said this organization was founded in 2010 and is working to preserve the legacy of Benson's. Not only have they worked with the local Boy Scouts and Eagle Scouts to clean up the park and refurbish some of the attractions, but they are also working to expand the gift shop into a museum. If you want to keep up with the future plans of Benson Park, I'll put a link to their Facebook page in the description of this video. And we also left the park after making our t-shirt purchase until we noticed hidden behind the gift shop is the old woman's shoe. Definitely make sure you come back here and check it out. And I hope the next time I come here that the museum is open and that these moat areas are filled with water to give it a finished look. Leave a comment if you have ever been to Benson's Wild Animal Farm, or if you have any abandoned zoos in your area. There's a chipmunk in between us.